Welcome to this answer explanation video for multiply 2 digits by 1 digit. This video will talk through the answers to the multiply 2 digits by 1 digit worksheet and have a look at some of the tricky bits. Question 1. Circle the odd one out. We have 3 different representations of multiplication calculations and I'm going to have a look at solving each of those calculations to find the odd one out. The first calculation, calculation A, I can see that we have 3 tens and 2 ones on each row, and I can see that we have 6 lots of 32. So I can set up my calculation and I'm going to work out the answer. We're using the formal method that we've been practicing. So 2 times 6 is 12, my ones can go there, my 10 carries over and is exchanged into that column. 30 times 6 is 180, plus my extra 10 is 190, and my answer is 192. Calculation B, we can already see it's different because it's multiplied by 7. So 2 times 7 is 14, I exchange my 10 and show it under here. 30 times 7 is 210, plus the extra 10 is 220. The answer is 224. Calculation C is represented on a part whole model, so even though we can see at the top it's 32 times 6, I'm still going to work out the answers just so that I can double check. If we look at the part whole model at the bottom, we've got it partitioned, so 30 times 6, which is 180, and then we have 2 times 6, which is 12, so we can add those together and we would get 192. We can see now, having worked out the answers to the calculations, that calculations A and C both equal 192, and then calculation B equals 224. So I can circle calculation B because that one's the odd one out. Question 2. Complete the comparison statement using the less than, greater than, or equal to symbols. So we're going to solve the calculations and then place one of the symbols in the box in the middle to make the statement correct. You might have chosen to use the place value grids to help you answer your question. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to show it as the formal method. We'll start with 33 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So we show our 5. Our 10 is exchanged into the tens column. 3 times 5 again is 15, but we're talking about tens this time, so it's 150. Add the extra 10 is 160, so our answer is 165. Next calculation, 41 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 40 times 3 is 120. We didn't need to exchange for that one. The answer is 123. I can compare my two answers now. I can see that 165 is the bigger number because even though we have a 1 in our hundreds column, 6 tens are greater than 2 tens. So the correct symbol would be greater than. So our final statement would be 33 times 5 is greater than 41 times 3. Question 3. Is Keris correct? Explain your answer. And Keris is saying, if I multiply a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number using the digit cards below, the smallest number I could make is 75 and the biggest number I could make is 315. And her digit cards are 3, 5, 1 and 6. You might have gone about this in a number of different ways. You could have experimented with different types of calculations, putting different numbers together, working out whether you agree with Keris or not. I'm going to demonstrate 2 calculations to prove a possible answer. Now, Keris has said that the smallest number she could make is 75. Now, I'm going to have a look at the smallest digits in our selection, that's 3, 5 and 1, to see if I can make a calculation. I know that if we multiply a number by 1, that number stays the same. So my smallest 2-digit number, not using 1, would be 35. So I could do 35 times 1. Know that 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 30 is 30, and my answer is 35. So already I've managed to make a smaller number than Keris' suggestion of 75. Let's see if we can prove the biggest number as well, or at least one that's bigger than 315. Again, you might have experimented with different numbers and different calculations using those digit cards. The calculation that I'm going to look at, I think if I multiply by 6, I might get a bigger answer. So if I take 6 out of my options, then the biggest number I could make is 53. So I'm going to try 53 times 6 and see whether I get a bigger number than 315. So 3 times 6 is 18. I exchange my 10. 50 times 6 is 300 plus my 10, which is 310. So my answer is 318. So I've made a number bigger than 315. So my answer could be, Keris is not correct because I have been able to make a number smaller than 75 and a number greater than 318. And then I would show my examples as part of my explanation. That was a video explaining the answers to the multiply 2-digit by 1-digit worksheet from Classroom Secrets. To see the video tutorial for the same step, please go to kids.classroomsecrets.co.uk, and for more worksheets, go to classroomsecrets.co.uk. Thank you for watching.